This is my makeshift door slash sequencer where I've loaded sounds and created an extended sequence for each sound, which in tandem work together to create this musical masterpiece you can hear right here. I've also incorporated a low pass filter that you can tweak at will. The more intense you set the low pass filter, you can hear that only low frequencies are let through and all the higher frequencies are blocked, and as a result sound muffly. I've also included a compressor on the kick. I mean, you can set it to whatever sound you like, be it the snare, the hi-hat, the bass, the horn samples, whatever you choose. And you can also alter the compression. It's useful for producers. It's a very useful tool. And you can toggle the compressor on or off by commenting or uncommenting it. Now, let's get down to the good stuff. So I've included 9 samples here: kick, snare, hi-hat, bass, 3 horn sounds going from high to low. So this is the highest, mid, low, and then We Eat and We Make Money. These are vocal samples from Outkast that I've picked out myself. Now, the original drum machine sample was at 16. I mean, the sequence was 16, but I've increased that to 160, just so it can more resemble a longer instrumental rather than just a simple loop. And then that makes it more fun for us, obviously, because then we can tweak it however we want and choose to actually make a cohesive instrumental. I've done the same with all the 9 samples, as you can see here. If you look closely, you can see that the kick here has a different set of 1s and 0s to the set here on the hat. And that's just because they all work together but on different layers. So this first layer right here, where is it? Nope. Come on. Yes, so this first layer right here works in tandem with this first layer right here. So yeah, they all work together, which we'll cover later. So these are the samples I provided below right here, and please remember, when you're loading this on your own machine, remember to direct the sounds to the new path, because with every machine that you load this program onto, it needs a new file path for each and every one. So yeah, don't forget that. Compressors, basic attack, release, threshold, and ratio. I've set the attack to 300 milliseconds, a release to 100 milliseconds, so we're not compressing too much. The threshold to 3 and ratio to 10. Now, this is quite important because I wanted the beat to be quite a hip-hop-y sounding beat, so it's quite slow because the default metronome was a bit too quick for me. So I set this to 6.5, which is a nice bouncy beat. Now, this ugly looking piece of code here, kick trigger equals hit playhead 160, it just basically takes whatever value is playing on the sequencer at that moment in time, and that's it. This is the compressor, which I've commented out. We'll be using it in a second. Now, this long piece of code is very simple. It's just generally saying if on the sequencer, if let's say kick trigger equals 1, which means if it's turned on, then play kick trigger, and same for all of the other sounds. This sample out basically tells Maximilian what to play out of the speakers. So it just tells it to play all of the sounds out of the speakers. Now, the low pass filter. I've also added the low pass filter to it. I've set it to 1, so that the low pass filter isn't on. But you can begin toggling the low pass filter for fun effects. I recommend toggling it between 0.01 and 0.99. If you obviously set it to 0, you're not going to hear anything. So yeah, that's that. Output 1 equals output 0 basically means whatever comes through the left speaker, output it through the right speaker too. kick trigger and all the sample triggers equals 0 just basically mean that when the sequence ends, restart it back to the beginning. So let's begin to play the masterpiece that I've created. The track is called Eat and Make Money. I hope you enjoy.
We eat, we make money. We eat, we make money.
Right, so I'm gonna guide you through where the sequencer is right now.
We make money. We eat.
Right now it's at the top. Now it's on the second line, third line, fourth line, fifth line,
We make money.
sixth line, and so on. Okay, so that was that. Now let's test out the compressor, because I know you're probably itching to find out how that sounds. What I've found is that it sounds very tinny with the compressor on the kick, and yeah, that's probably because I've overcompressed the kick. But hey, let's just have a listen to it. You can hear the difference.
We eat, we make money.
Right, that was with the compressor. Now without again.
We make money. We eat, we make money.
Yeah, you can hear how without the compressor the kick feels like it has more punch, but if we just play around with the compressor settings, I'm sure we can get a setting that will be really desirable. So let's go down to the last setting, the low pass filter, and let's play around with that. Let's hear it again originally.
We make money. We eat, we make money.
Okay, now with the low pass filter.
We make money.
You can hear how muffly it is already.
We eat, we make money.
Alright, let's take this further. Even more muffly.
We make money.
Notice how only the lower frequencies are coming through. The bass is clear, whereas the higher sounds with a high frequency, they're quite inaudible. So that's really interesting. Okay, let's set this back down to 1, where it's off. Okay, that is my project. Thank you for tuning in, and take care.